I'm Sarah Griffiths, I'm Head of Sales and Marketing at Sotic.
And I'm Joe Lamb, I'm Marketing Executive at Sotic.
And so Sotic deals largely with social media and runs that for various clubs and organisations. The rise of social media has been pretty epic recently, so how have rugby clubs responded and are they improving generally with their social media output?
Sotic is predominantly a digital agency and we provide the online solutions for sports clubs and governing bodies, but our role more recently has extended into assisting with the social media side of businesses. We actually do a full managed service for some of our clients, including Premiership Rugby and Rabo Direct, the Celtic League. It's also very much a part of the delivery that we produce is to have an integrated solution from our CMS system where clients are putting news stories onto their websites and making sure that those are fed through to their social media pages as well. And that includes multimedia onto YouTube platforms too. So we digitally automate services so that our clients have a lot less work to do. They're only having to do everything once through the CMS system. So that's predominantly our main role in social media until we get onto the full managed service where we're actually coming up with campaign ideas and delivering concepts that help generate more likes and more engagement.
And speaking to some of the brands that supply rugby clubs, they're very keen on social media now and say that clubs that are very good at engaging with people on Twitter and Facebook and on their own websites, that makes a big difference in their appeal to them. So I guess from your point of view, is that something that you've noticed with rugby clubs, that you can add value in that way and then they can benefit from that in other areas sort of monetarily?
Monetising social media is not an easy prospect or a deliverable unless you have the money and the resource to invest time and energy into putting ideas and campaigns in place. So predominantly we're finding that clients are doing things to engage rather than putting up specific games or competitions. Competition rules changed recently with regards to putting competition on Facebook, so they're a little bit more limiting than they used to be. And the whole timeline structure that came in place on Facebook is, again, a little bit more limiting for clients. They used to be able to put nice gateways in place which had original content. That's not quite so much of an easy concept anymore. Rugby clubs in general, from our experience, are pretty savvy. They were relatively late to the market, but they're certainly catching up. And if you look at the rate of growth of a rugby club versus a governing body versus another sporting club, then they're generally more or less on a par. It doesn't matter what the starting point was, the growth seems to be very similar. The engagement levels are relatively, not simplistic, that's not quite the right word, but it's delivering to the fans what they want. So it'll be the scores, it'll be the news, it'll be questions to encourage engagement, it'll be simple competitions. It might even extend as far as putting shop products online as well, posting YouTube videos or posting videos up to the social media platform. But it's the engagement and the actual unique content is not necessarily embracing anything that's from a monetizing point of view at the moment, as we have seen.
And lots of rugby clubs and organisations are following governing bodies and clubs in football in drawing up sort of guidelines for social media. Do you, as experts in social media, do you have any advice for either individuals or organisations in terms of what do's and don'ts, I guess?
I think it's important to have a document drawn up within a club or an organisation regarding your best practice for social media. I think rules can be a bit too strict sometimes and you get very bland tweets from athletes which are no good at all to anyone really, but we've seen too many cases of athletes speaking out of turn. I don't want to name any names, but just recently I've seen a few. So we definitely advise a best practice document to be drawn up and then go from there.
And is that something that Sotic advises on as a company, in your package that you deliver to clients?
Absolutely. We've got our own social media policy that Joe's actually drawn up. Joe's previous experience lends itself very nicely. His previously was working on social media platform for football and cricket, so he's brought different sport experience into the rugby world. and he has drafted a social media policy that we have adopted internally at SOTIC, and we are delivering out to clients as and when they need our help.